Hi there, welcome to another video. If it's your first time ever coming across this channel, my name is Zona Devani. I call my subbies my beauties. If you want to become part of that exclusive club, you simply have to hit the subscribe button. To my returning beauties, welcome back. It's lovely to see you again. On today's video, we're talking about how to rest in your femininity. I'm sharing simple and practical steps to achieving this. Please make sure to stay tuned and interact on the comment section below as well. Rest symbolizes ease and comfort, which are two of the most important elements to your femininity journey, which is why that element of rest is key for you to fully blossom into the feminine soft woman that you want to become. The first point that we're looking at in this subject is for you to drop that activism mentality. Femininity is a lifestyle, and it is a lifestyle that one gets into by choice, which means not everyone around you is supposed to be on that same journey. Release yourself from the pressure of wanting to change everyone's mind about femininity. Femininity is not a political movement. It's not a religion. You don't gain anything out of it being supported by everyone. This is a personal journey. It's always amazing to have a community of other women that see it as something that is valuable, but I feel it is something that you can attract more women into if you feel that more women need to be in it by your actions, by them seeing the results of this journey that you are on, instead of you trying to pull them towards yourself, ready to fight it out to prove that femininity is the way to go. This is a mistake that we tend to make in the early stages of our femininity because it is something new that is exciting for us. We really find ourselves wanting to get everyone involved or hoping that everyone around us sees it as something that is as valuable as we see it. This combative activism mentality always manifests itself in feminine women seeing a need to have a sense of being anti-feminism. It is two opposite lifestyles, but there shouldn't be tension between someone who is a feminist. It is okay that we don't agree with feminism. However, once we start to show that aggression and strong will to fight to be right, it makes us no different. It also shows a lot of masculinity, being competitive about something and wanting your opinions to be the final say, your view to life to be the final say. You get into your rest when you are not looking at femininity as an activism, but rather a way of life that you have chosen for yourself, and that it is completely okay for other people to be opposed to this. You see the benefits of it, but you are not an activist. You are just choosing to be soft, and that is your truth. If anyone sees it as something that they can learn more about or that they're interested in, that will be great. But primarily, this is about you choosing differently for yourself. Not everyone is going to have to co-sign with it. The more we push to be these activists is the more we reawaken the masculine energy that we are trying to slow down on to become softer and more feminine. It will give you so much rest when you are enjoying the fruits of your journey without arguing its validity to other people. This next point is that of learning to receive. It's really important as you delve into your femininity journey to learn to receive. It is in our physical anatomy to be the receivers, but sometimes we tend to find difficulty in receiving gifts, receiving help, and just receiving compliment. It can easily be just receiving a compliment without pointing out what's wrong or without saying where you got that, just simply saying thank you. Of course, it's okay to reciprocate a compliment, but it must be genuine. It must not be you are saying the same to them just because they have given you a compliment. You go out of your way to actually return that compliment. It is okay to say thank you and smile and move on with your day, in the same way that it is okay to receive from your loved ones a gift and just saying thank you. Being comfortable with receiving makes you rest in your femininity. You see your worth. You see yourself as someone who is worthy of being gifted, who is worthy of being complimented. You rest in that it is okay to accept these. The world is ready to give to me, and I'm in a great position to receive this. be grateful for it instead of just rushing and thinking about what is it that I can do. Sometimes to kickstart that process of receiving, you have to ask for the help that you need. That could be around the house, from your partner, from work. But when you ask, you actually start the process of receiving. Even the Bible encourages us to ask so that we may receive. So there's nothing wrong with asking for help. It's just that in our society, it's constantly being drummed into our ears that we need to be independent, to a point where you feel guilty when someone does something for you. Even in our relationships, there's this trend on social media and just in society at large that if the one you love does not give you the things that you want, then you let them go. There is some truth to that, but I'm willing to challenge it and say you have to learn to ask for the things that you want, and then you watch what happens after you have asked. But do definitely start. In matters of romance, sometimes the things that we see and desire as women are things that men don't even know. You will know the good intentions of your spouse, of your partner or husband, if they do pay attention to the things that you say you like and you would like to experience. But do start that process of expressing yourself and saying what you like. If they truly cherish your desires and want to make you happy, they will take that information and use it to give those things to you instead of dropping hints or just acting up when things are not going our way. It brings a lot of rest to just express yourself freely and openly in the most kind and lovingly manner. That does bring rest and gets us into that position of receiving that is very key on our journey in our femininity. This next point is that you need to learn to prioritize joy, doing things that invoke joy within you. When we are joyful and at peace, we tend to exude more of that feminine energy. The older we grow is the more we have to put in an effort into invoking that joy from within ourselves. Determine what those things are for you that bring you that joy. Not just happiness, the joy that is deep rooted within you that says, even if things are not going my way, I have a peace inside of me. I have a spring to my step. It takes a lot to cultivate that. You have to determine those things and prioritize them. It's so easy to be caught up on being career driven, being busy, but sometimes we tend to forget joy. And joy is a big part of being feminine. Sometimes when we talk about femininity, the first thing that comes to your mind is the rigidity, being classy, the etiquette. All those things are great, but make sure that all of it is centered from a place of joy, that you never lose your peace in the process. Be playful, enjoy life, do activities that actually invoke that joy within you. For me, just taking the time to watch something that has nothing to do with content, purpose, business, just taking the time to just watch something, get lost in it, laugh and enjoy it. Read a magazine or a book, those things that are not connected even to my reality, that make me feel great, that invoke a peace and excitement within me. Those are still a big part of my journey. So be intentional with being playful. If it means playing with your kids or playing with your spouse, going out for a gaming night, anything just to keep you away from that rigid, stiff mindset that we sometimes tend to think of when we talk about femininity. You need to relax, okay? You need to enjoy life, be playful and fun. A big part of our femininity journey is in the way that we package ourselves. This being the way we dress, the way we take care of our hair, our beauty routine on lock. Now with this one, I found that when I simplified my routine, it made me feel more restful and less anxious. When you derive a very simple beauty and style routine, it makes your femininity journey feel less of a chore. I've had to simplify my makeup routine, my hair routine and my style so that I'm able to get into my routine and my mode almost every day because it's so easy. It doesn't feel like a chore. For example, with my hair, I find a lot more freedom when I have my hair out, or now I've just recently discovered V-part wigs. I find this very easy for me to maintain. I love a nice laid frontal, okay? You know me. But it's not practical for me to show up as that every single day. I also want to look good every single day in the house, even if I'm not filming anything. So when that was the main thing that was going for me, I was not finding any rest. Breath, also my makeup. At first I was under this pressure that because I'm a makeup artist, I need to show off my skill. I know what I like on myself. This is what I like on myself. I had to release myself from that pressure to have this long process of makeup to prove my makeup skills. I'm able to do this when I'm going to the movies, even when I'm going to the mall. This has become my favorite look. Well, I do have a little bit more blush than I would have on a regular day, but in terms of the eyeshadow work, all that good stuff, I have taken it easy from that. And at some stage I had actually started to get eyelash extensions to further simplify my routine. However, I have not been happy with the people that have been doing my lashes. I'm still on the lookout for that. It further lightens my load of my get ready time when I have individual lashes. In the same way that in my wardrobe, it's important to have those key staples that go very well with your style, that become sort of like a uniform. When you know what kind of style you're into, it makes it that much easier to get ready every day. I know what I like. I like slip skirts and t-shirts. That will be my uniform. On a regular day, I'll be in a slip skirt, a t-shirt, or a nice knitted top and some nice sandals, or I'll be in trousers and a shirt and some nice shoes. Simplifying your everyday style helps you to rest and be able to maintain this journey that you are on. Now, instead of trying to layer and look trendy all the time, I know what to run to on an everyday basis to make my life easier. I know how I like to show up when I go on dates, how I dress when I'm dropping my kids at school, how I dress when I'm going to the office. It has made my life that much simple, further helping me to rest without worrying about what am I gonna wear. Another way you can give yourself rest and peace of mind when you are on your femininity journey is to adopt the mindset of abundance. This gives you so much relaxation and peace across all areas of your life. This can be your finances, the people that are in your life, and every other endeavor that you are embarking on. When you have a mindset of abundance, you start to think of everything as being limitless, including yourself. This gives you freedom and rest in that whatever goes on with you, whatever you lose, makes way for more to come in your life. The relationships that you have, you are okay with people distancing themselves from you, connections breaking down, because you know that there's so much more life to live. You stand a chance of meeting other people, and with the things that you have and the skills that you have, when you have an abundance mindset, you are willing to share on those things. Abundance is not something that you get to because you have acquired so much, but it is a mindset of seeing what you have and sharing it. When you feel like what I know now can edify someone else's life, that is you being abundant, and it opens you up to receiving more, because the more you share is the more you make space for yourself to receive. You are polishing up on your own in the process of sharing, and you are giving those around you an opportunity to also learn from what you have learned and enrich their own lives.
I am not chasing the bag today. The bag is chasing
me. That meme came to my mind when I thought of this point. This one being that of not always be chasing the bag, allowing yourself the freedom to enjoy life. Not everything that you do should be about money. We take on so much to make more money as women, and sometimes we end up losing the essence of our being as soft, feminine women. We live in a culture that's constantly pushing the boss babe. The boss babe is okay and is beautiful, but at the same time, it can be really frustrating to be doing a lot of things for money. You have multiple businesses going. It's important for us to work on finding ways to still have time for the things that we love, instead of just always doing things for money. I have been in this position myself in my life. I can closely connect that with that mindset of forever chasing, because I'm operating from a place of lack, which we just talked about now, abundance mindset versus the lack mentality, constantly chasing. We want to get to a place where we feel like we are putting in the effort, but we are not being drained. The boss babe culture really truly promotes us as women being independent, which there is nothing wrong with, but it's also within our nature to want to relax as well, to be provided for, to be taken care of. The more we want to become independent, I find that it becomes even more difficult for us to receive. I found this with myself, having been a single mom for quite a while before getting married, being used to fending for myself. I mean, just even using the term fending, that is strife. It is something that I needed to do at the time, but learning to accept the help when I now have it, just to shift myself from the independent boss babe. I know not a lot of people are in such a position right now, but it does speak to reducing the number of things that we do. Sometimes we feel like we need another income stream, while what we may need is to become better stewards of what we already have. Sometimes we can achieve a lot of things with the money that we already are making, but without the financial literacy and the right mindset to it, we feel like we need to pile on the activities to make more money, while instead we could be achieving a lot more with what we have. So a big part of not chasing the buck is also optimizing better what we already have. Another way we can rest in our femininity is by making sure that we feel safe. Our femininity blooms in safe environments. We can create our safe spaces by watching the relationships that we are in, talking about the safety now of our emotions and our hearts. Sometimes we hold on to friendships where we have been gravely hurt or let down out of the fear of being alone. But you can't rest in a situation where you want to constantly be watching yourself, because sometimes what you may have shared about yourself has landed on the wrong ears when you know exactly who you told that to. At some stage, I walked into someone I deemed a friend at the time gossiping about me. I was so disappointed, but a big part of me just said, okay, well, we all need grace. But I saw myself starting to resent her and shift away from my genuine self, which is kind, caring, and just openly expressive of love, because I stuck around. That was not a safe place for me. And sometimes this may happen in relationships where you've even been verbally abused or even physically abused, but you stick around. You are shriveling away from your feminine soft self because you don't feel safe. To recreate that safety, you have to walk away from such a situation where you feel like you are under threat and anything can happen to you. Because when we don't feel safe, we get into this fight or flight mode. Femininity cannot thrive in such a situation. So creating safety for ourselves does bring with it some rest. Another way of feeling safe and just resting in that safety in our femininity is through trusting the safety of God. I feel safe in the hands of the Lord. This has come through understanding and knowing that He is protecting me. His word tells me that He has surrounded me with fire. Affirming and declaring those scriptures over our lives helps us to feel safe. And when we feel safe, we feel softer. And also just maintaining a level of privacy with your life does bring with it a lot of security in a world that thrives in knowing every last detail of people's lives. Another way we can create a safe space for ourselves is through speaking to a professional. If our area of feeling unsafe is through us expressing ourselves and finding that information on the wrong ears, now you have someone who is legally bound to keep your secret. Another way we can rest in our femininity is to allow ourselves to be led in full submission, starting from being in full submission to God as the creator of the universe and everything that's in it. When we are fully submitted to His lead and His will for our lives, it immediately brings rest, because we are not working opposite His will. Our partners and our husbands trusting their leadership and resting in that they are the leaders in the partnership, in the relationship that we are in, brings so much relaxation, because you are not forcing anything. If anything, it's so comforting to know that if anything is to go anyway, I'm not responsible. I'm just relaxing and I'm in support. You take the sheep and steer it. Which is very important to know who you are submitting to before allowing yourself to be submitted. Know that you are submitted to someone who is connected to God. That way you will not worry about where you are going. You will pray for them as well, for them to continue to be on that straight path that God wants them to be in. This also speaks to being in submission in your workplace. If you work somewhere, working towards the good of your leadership and your authority instead of against. It takes a lot of energy from you when you are forcing in a different direction altogether. If your workspace causes you to work the opposite direction of that leadership, maybe it's about time you consider leaving such a space and find something that's gonna give you peace of mind and the rest that you need. In the same way that if you are in a relationship where you feel like the leadership does not give you the comfort and the rest that you feel you need to be in, maybe you may consider leaving such a partnership. If it's just a dating situation, you may try to introduce yourself in the position of being the follower of your leader. But if he's not leading the direction you would want to go, then consider not following in that, to maintain your rest, so that you may exude that feminine energy without any interruption. He encourages us to come to him. He will give us rest. Let's take advantage of that at all times. We live in a world that thrives on having us feeling tired, unrested, and stressed out. But let us prioritize rest. Rest of our minds, rest of our bodies and our souls, so that we may thrive and really enjoy life for what it is supposed to be. Release ourselves from the pressure to keep performing, from the pressure of looking like we have it all together. Let's enjoy our femininity journey and just simply rest. If this video resonated with you or highlighted to you some of the things that you need to start working on, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to engage on the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I'll see you on my next one. I love you and God bless you.